Welcome to Social Media for Business. This is part 2 of a series. So if you are joining here for the first time, I want to encourage you to go back to do Social Media for Business part 1. We're going to go ahead and get started right away. In part 1, we talked about the importance of storytelling. We talked about why social media is so important to businesses, particularly smaller businesses. We then talked a little bit about some of the best social media practices with some do's and some don'ts. And then now for the last part of our second series, we're going to really talk about and do a deeper dive into the actual networks. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some resources that you can use as you start to grow your social media platform. My name is BoniqueEdwards. I am the principal and founder of Kaleidoscope Consulting Group, and we help transform people's images every day. And we do that through web development, graphic design, and social media. So now we're going to just dig right on in and really talk about some of the social media platforms that are most important to businesses. Again, I want to reiterate that this is not a social media class for your individual platform. I'm really trying to give some concrete ideas and suggestions on how you can actually work your business to grow that platform. So some fast facts. LinkedIn, super important. So when you look at LinkedIn, there are 3.48 billion people using it. And it is designed to help, one, drive traffic to your website, but two, it's a great opportunity when you're looking to hire people. It is designed to be a business-to-business platform. This is not where you put your funny posts. This is not where you put your witty jokes. LinkedIn is going to be more business-oriented. The first thing I want to start with is it's super important that you do a professional headshot. LinkedIn is not a place where you put your headshot where you were hanging out with the boys or hanging out with the girls and you got a martini in your hand. Take the time, invest in yourself, invest in your business, and put up a professional headshot. You can also do something called LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning will pay you to do seminars like this one, webinars, etc. And every time someone clicks on your LinkedIn Learning class, you'll actually get paid. So I love LinkedIn because it allows you to get residual income. Let's first talk about your personal profile. That's where it all starts. In order to create a business profile, you first have to have a personal profile. So the first thing you want to do is do a headline that really rocks. It wants to be super clear. In this example, if you look at Jacqueline Bao, it's Senior Integrated Producer, Virtual Event Manager, Experiential and Corporate Event Planner, and Project Management. Everything now when people are looking to hire people is done by keywords. Your LinkedIn profile needs to have all the keywords for you and your business and what you've done. This is not something you want to do fast, hurry. Sit down, look at competitors, be strategic. Make sure that your header, which is the most important thing, actually says what your superpowers are. What are your gifts? What makes you unique? I want you to think about it like an online resume for you, and then it's going to be an online resume for your company. You need to have at least 50 connections on LinkedIn, and they need to be authentic. So what you want to do is make sure that you do not connect with people you don't know. The idea behind LinkedIn is that before I meet anyone, I go to their LinkedIn profile. And then I say, is there someone they know that I might want to get to know? So if I were to come to you and say, hey, I'd like an introduction to Jane Smith, and you're like, yeah, I don't really know Jane Smith, it doesn't help. So with that said, I don't allow people who I don't know to join my LinkedIn profile. There needs to be a real connection, which means I can pick up the phone and call that person so we can actually do business together. That is the goal. Join all applicable groups. Wherever you went to college, join that group. Wherever you went to high school, join that group. If you do, basketball, join that group. Whatever professional affiliations you have, join all those groups because that's going to connect you to more people, which eventually can help drive revenue into your business. After you have your personal profile, then you can go through and create your business profile. So in this situation, you can see in the top example, it says, it's not what brands say, it's what brands do that matters. And then she's been super creative and gotten rid of a few words. So now it reads, it's what brands do that matters. That's much better. So mine at the bottom, which I think is really great and clever, it doesn't say what we do. So I need to go through and say, hey, we are visual communications superheroes. We're digital communication superheroes. So you see the superhero there, but I'm not telling you what we do. Whereas the one above it does that perfectly. You need to make sure you understand what the sizes are so you could create specific sizes. The sizes for your personal header page are going to be different than the sizes for your business header page. This is super important when setting up all of your LinkedIn profile, all your social media platforms. Everybody has a different size. Twitter has a header size, Facebook has a header size, there's a different size for LinkedIn, there's a different size for all these things. So you want to make sure you take the time to know what the sizes are to make sure that you look the best online. When you create your business profile, you want to write a very compelling about us section. This is your moment to brag. This is not a time to be shy. This is the time to say, we rock at this, we're the best at this, and here's why you want to do us. This is where people go to find jobs, or it's a career page, and then you want to make sure that anybody works for you, that they are tagging your company correctly. So if you've got 3 or 4 employees, make sure those 3 or 4 employees are tagging that they actually work for your company. And the last step is that you want to give love to other colleagues and business owners so you can get love. You want to ask your customers and colleagues to give you an endorsement on LinkedIn so it gives you some credibility. This is sort of like the Yelp for service businesses when you get those endorsements. Yelp. If you own any business, you should be on Yelp. Yelp is the ultimate form of accountability. If your operations are not together, don't do Yelp. But even if you don't claim your own Yelp page, people can still Yelp about you. The internet is the ultimate equalizer, and the internet now ensures that we're all accountable. When you give bad service and you don't focus on fixing it, your clients, your customers will let you know by doing Yelp reviews. You should treat Yelp like it is one of the most important things of your business. When you see anything that's 3 stars or below, you, your staff members should do backflips to ensure that you fix those Yelp reviews because you want to respond to them, engage with them, and make sure you are creating out-of-the-box fanatical customer service because people go to Yelp to verify who you are and what you're about before spending money with you. Now, if you look at all the social media platforms that we're going to talk about, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you Facebook is king. If you're younger than 40, you're questioning that because you're probably not using Facebook anymore. But Facebook is one of the first ones to come out to the market, and when you still look at everything, Facebook is still queen. And because Facebook owns Instagram, she's the queen of the jungle. So if Facebook were a country, it would be larger than China. That's a lot of people. It's more than 1.9 billion people. 7 out of 10 US adults use Facebook. So you may not use it personally for your friends and your colleagues, but I bet you hang out with your grandmother on Facebook. I bet you interact with grandpa on Facebook. So Facebook right now is still the king of the jungle, particularly when it comes to advertising. You're going to get more bang for your buck when you start advertising on Facebook than any other social media platform. 74% of high-income earners are Facebook users. 49% of LinkedIn users make more than $75,000. Literally 3/4 of US citizens are using Facebook daily. If your business is not on Facebook, then you are missing a huge opportunity to tap into that market. Facebook is critical. Why Facebook is so critical is because they've integrated everything in there. So let's say, for example, Facebook now makes you pay to play. And what they do is they have all these algorithms. So if you notice that when you're looking at your personal Facebook feed, you see the same people pop up over and over and over again. And it's because Facebook says, if you've liked your post from a friend of yours in the last 30 days, we'll keep feeding you that content. But people who you haven't engaged with over the last 30 days, we will not show you their content. So what they'll do then is say, hey, if you have an event or a product you want to promote, they'll give you the chance to advertise to your own followers because Facebook doesn't always show you the followers that you already have. Let's say, for example, you have 100,000 followers. If you do a post on Facebook, they will filter the feed, and they're only going to show your posts to the people who engage with you regularly, because they want you to spend some money to go back and get your followers back. 60% of Americans are watching videos on Facebook, which means it is really important that you start looking at how do you pivot your strategy to include a lot more video footage that's more engaging, more interactive, more compelling. Facebook has tons of offerings. One, they have a personal profile page. Then they have a business profile page. You have to have, very similar to LinkedIn, you have to have a personal page in order to have a business profile page. Now, your business profile page can be shared with other people, meaning that I can make an agency an admin, I can make a friend an admin, etc. So your business profile page can be shared so other people can help you grow your platform. They've got event registration, they have chats, they have Facebook Live events, they have watching sessions. Facebook has a dating app. They have groups. Facebook has so many more offerings than any other social media platform, and that is why Facebook is still going to be the king. Facebook is going to allow you to promote things, and their stories alone, which was new because they got that from Instagram when they purchased Instagram, attracts 500 million viewers daily. Facebook will even allow you to sell your product. So let's say, for example, you don't have the time, energy to build a website that's product-based, that sells product. Not a problem. You can sell your product on Facebook. You can promote your event. They literally allow you to connect and engage with the most potential customers as possible. Let's talk a little bit about pages versus groups. So the page is that I actually have a Facebook page, and that is designed to be one-way communication, meaning I'm going to communicate things about my business to people who follow me. It's one-way communication. It allows me to run ads, I can post job openings, I can do events, I can sell. That is all designed for me to get you to do something for me. A Facebook group is a little bit different. That's designed to, like, we're having a party, everyone's invited, and I am then trying to create a community where people get to engage with each other. And you can have a group on travel, you can have a group on people who own Doberman pinchers, you can have a group on people who like to skateboard on the weekends. You can have a group on just about anything you want to do, and the guideline for the group is that it's supposed to be community, and people with like mind, similar interests, join this community and actually do post to those things. This allows for a more engaging and organic discussion. The trick is to build your group before you sell to them. Once you start building this organic group and following, then you can kindly and slowly or casually start to sell what it is that you want to do. What do you want to accomplish? So this goes back to when we talked about in part 1 of social media, what is your social media strategy? Keeping in mind that nobody wakes up and wants to be sold something every day. So you have to kind of like slide it in there and make me feel good about being sold. The best practices. You want to make sure that you're fun and you want to protect your personal brand. Let's say, for example, I'm hanging out with my girlfriends this weekend, and let's say I get intoxicated. I don't post pictures of me drunk. I don't post pictures of me high. I don't post pictures of me at the shooting range, even though I do all those things. I need to protect my brand because I'm a business owner. So who I am and how I show up is a reflection of me and my company. When I go to bachelorette parties, I make sure that I tell people, no pictures with me, no pictures with me, please. The best way to get caught doing something is through social media. So it is your responsibility to make sure you protect your brand when you are doing things that you don't want the world to know about. You can do contests on Facebook, you can introduce new products, you can engage people, but just keep in mind that Facebook is going to filter the feed, meaning that if you are not providing me engaging content and I don't like, tag, forward, make a comment, yes, I'm your follower, but because the feed is filtered, I'm not seeing all the posts that you're putting out. So if you're wondering, wow, I have all these thousands of followers and they're not engaging with me, it's because Facebook wants you to pay to play. Now the queen, she's kind of badass, if I can just, say it. She is Instagram, and she is designed for you to build an online community, and here authenticity is everything. She's got some things that Facebook doesn't have. She's got DMs, which is direct messaging. That means that if I'm looking at this guy that I want to talk to or this girl that I want to talk to, they said we can slide to the DM. Now, whether or not you respond to something different, but I can direct message another colleague, another business owner. I can do a lot of these things which are different than Facebook chat, because people can go a long time without looking at Facebook chat, but people pay attention more to who's in their direct message section. And Instagram. Instagram is also cheaper to advertise on. She's cheaper because she's the queen, which means that you can get more exposure by advertising on Instagram than you can on Facebook for a lower cost because of that. What you need to know though is who's your target audience. So if your clients are over the age of 50, advertising on Instagram is not going to be a good fit. If your clients are between sort of like that 40 and under age, then advertising on Instagram is going to be a great fit for you, your business, and who you're trying to attract. And then it easily allows you to create brand ambassadors for your brand. So people can easily forward messages, you can do word of mouth advertising, but here's the reason why she's so badass. The feed is not filtered, which means that if I have 10,000 followers, all 10,000 followers are going to see the post that I put on Instagram. Totally different than the Facebook model. So the unfiltered feed is what makes Instagram so powerful, coupled with the fact that Instagram allows, which we talked about in session 1, better tagging and hashtagging. Hashtagging is not going to work as well on Facebook because there's no indexing. The hashtagging and the secret sauce to following tags, seeing what I'm going to do, all those things happen on the Instagram page. Now, storytelling is super important. Everything on Instagram is visual, visual, visual. I don't want to see a lot of quotes, a lot of words. I want to be simulated. So here's an example of a law firm that's here in Los Angeles, and they focus on trust. These women are awesome. So what they did was they took something very traditional, they do trust, they're lawyers, very conservative industry. They created a box for the actual trust. And what they did is they put the trust in the box. They have that delivered to your home, and there's a note that says, "Happy signing day," in the box. So now they've taken something that's a piece of paper and created a visual aspect. So then when it's my signing day for me to do my trust, guess what I do? I become a social media influencer because I'm so excited that my attorney put this trust together for me, that then I take this and I post it on my Instagram page. And then people are like this, oh my gosh, I need a trust too. And who do I call and what's going on? And so here's a perfect example of how a service business was able to create something tangible, something visual. And then because I've got this photograph of this amazing experience, I can then create an Instagrammable moment that is going to help drive revenue for this law firm. I think they're doing a brilliant job. Photo selection matters on Instagram more than anything else. These are 2 ads from the Gap. The second ad that showed lifestyle, we're at the beach, they're wearing Gap, far outperformed the regular one that just shows the 2 women that has the Gap logo. So here it is where Gap is saying, hey, what are people responding to? People are responding to lifestyle moments and memories versus, again, no one wakes up to be sold something from the Gap today. So here's a perfect example of how you have to figure out how do you create a memory and an experience with your business. So let's talk about some Instagram hacks, right? There are personal pages on Instagram and business pages on Instagram. Personal pages, they won't give you all the details, who's coming, what's the performance, what's happening. If you have a business page, it will allow you to view the insights so you can see how your posts are performing. Another hack is, in the previous session, we talked about how on Instagram you want to do 8 to 11 hashtags. So what you could do is on your phone, go to the notepad and put down 25 hashtags. and cut and paste your top 8, your top 10, whatever it is, so you're not constantly typing in the wrong hashtag to save time. Another way to do this is that there are tools and resources like Hootsuite, etc., where you can post your things in advance and you can cut and paste hashtags in there as well. Instagram stories can be more organic and less perfect. So what you post as your picture that stays there, that's sort of like top 9 frames. So if I go to an Instagram page, the top 9 pictures are really important because they say to me who you are and what you're about. But let's say I'm hanging out with my nephews and the picture's not so great, but I want to share with the world. I can use stories to do that because my Instagram stories go away after 24 hours. Now, if you've got a great story that you want to share, not a problem. That story can be saved. But if you want to just kind of get some content out there and everything's not perfect, your makeup's not right, your clothes are not right, you can use Instagram stories to supplement what's going to happen. You can add fonts, characters, all those things, and now Instagram will allow you to manage up to 10 accounts very easily on your phone. For example, I manage my nephew's account, I manage my account, I manage accounts for clients, and so they make it super easy for me to switch back and forth to manage those accounts. Again, you get up to 10 at one time on Instagram. Tweeting. I'm not a big tweeter, but I know a lot of people who do tweet, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about what tweeting looks like. So now it used to be 144 characters, and people were like, I need to say more. So now you can tweet 280 characters, and cooking tweets last year in 2020 when COVID hit increased by 300%. So we talked about how do you stay relevant, what's going on. Video views in 2020 increased by 62%. Some things you should know about Twitter that are really important. Democrats are more likely to use Twitter than Republicans are. 42% of Twitter followers actually have a college degree, and Twitter has more men than women. So if your business caters towards women, which mine does mostly, I don't tweet. You have to sort of figure out, is this it? I don't think I'm funny enough, honestly, or witty enough to tweet. And so I don't personally do that, but what the ideal businesses for this are going to be celebrities, news outlets, larger corporations, social media influencers. Those are going to be people who really benefit from using tweets. When you're writing a tweet, there's no need for you to have the last word. So we don't need to be caught up in a Twitter war. We've seen tons of celebrities who have lost their jobs, lost opportunities because they get caught in these Twitter wars. There's no need to have the last word on Twitter. We need to be polite, conversational. Keep in mind that even though you think that you've taken a bad tweet down, once it's out there, it can come back up there and haunt you for life. You want to make sure that you're being clear, and you want to always say please if you want someone to retweet your event, your promotions, etc. Don't overuse the exclamation marks. People get very frustrated and it's not very good. And then there's this thing called automatic tweets. So if I tweet you, I can put an automatic response in there. Again, we're trying to be authentic, we're trying to be personable, and so automated responses are no longer really acceptable because people want to feel like it's genuine. It's like doing, customer support by a computer, and I really want to just pick up a phone. You want to make sure you tag people who you're referring to in the tweets. Also, tagging is going to help people follow you as well. I'm going to start closing it down with some of my favorite tools that I like to use. So when it comes to social media, Hootsuite and Sendable are going to be really good tools to program what you want in advance. I recommend that if you're doing it on yourself and you're doing it by yourself, you're not hiring an agency, that every Sunday you sort of say what's happening, what are the current events, what specials, what do I want to educate with, and carve the time out on Sundays to plan out your social media week calendar. And Hootsuite and Sendable will allow you to schedule these things in advance using the optimal posting times that we talked about in session 1. The second thing is iStock Photo. iStock Photo is a subsidiary of Getty Images. Getty Images is incredibly expensive, but they've got celebrities, etc. If you don't need to have Halle Berry on your post, then you can use iStock Photo to supplement your images that you're actually using. Promo.com allows you to create video footage of photos together, your own videos. It lets you stream together, put pictures on top of videos. Promo.com is one of our favorite tools to use to create engaging videos for our clients. Canva is that I can't really afford a graphic designer. I don't have time, but I need my images to look professional. You get a Canva subscription. It will allow you to move things, remove backgrounds. It's a very powerful tool that can help you as you're starting on your social media journey. Tiny URL. One of the challenges with Instagram versus Facebook is that in Instagram, they tell you, see link in bio. And it doesn't have any linking capabilities in Instagram unless you're paying for an ad. So sometimes I might want to take a very long extended URL and create a tiny URL. So I just take the long URL, I go to tiny URL, it's completely free, I drop it in, and it will condense my www address so I can use it for marketing purposes on different platforms. What are some final points that we need to kind of do so we can rock our social media? The first one is know your audience. Who are you targeting? Why are they coming to you? The next thing is join the conversation, be a part of it, like other colleagues, like other businesses. Be authentic. Photos, 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 video, 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 and be careful about privacy settings. So for your personal page, you might want to be more selective, but for your business page, you want people to be able to follow you easily. There shouldn't be a lot of privacy settings. People should be able to easily engage with you on social media. My name is BoniqueEdwards from Kaleidoscope Consulting Group, and this is the second part of our two-part series on social media for business.